Dr. Amelia Chen stood motionless, her eyes fixed on the pulsating lines on her computer screen. The rhythm was unmistakable, a clear, repetitive pattern emanating from somewhere beyond the edges of our solar system. After years of searching, HFY had finally detected an alien signal. "Holy shit," she whispered, her hands trembling as she reached for her phone. "We're not alone." Within hours, the news spread like wildfire across the globe. Governments scrambled to respond. Scientists worked around the clock to decipher the message, and the public oscillated between excitement and fear. As the lead researcher at the Allen Telescope Array, Amelia found herself thrust into the spotlight, briefing world leaders and fielding endless questions from the media. 6 months later, she stood on the launch pad at Cape Canaveral, gazing up at the sleek spacecraft that would carry humanity's first interstellar expedition. The Stargazer, a marvel of human engineering, represented the culmination of a global effort to reach the stars. "Dr. Chen," a voice called out. She turned to see Captain Marcus Rivera, the mission commander, jogging towards her. "Final checks are complete. We're good to go." Amelia nodded, her stomach churning with a mix of anticipation and anxiety. "Let's make history, Captain." As they boarded the ship, Amelia couldn't help but marvel at how quickly humanity had mobilized. The signal had contained coordinates and rudimentary instructions for faster-than-light travel, a technology that Earth scientists had reverse-engineered in record time. It was as if the entire human race had been holding its breath, waiting for this moment to unleash its full potential. The launch was flawless, and within moments, the Stargazer was accelerating beyond the speed of light, hurtling towards the source of the alien signal. The crew of 12, a mix of scientists, diplomats, and military personnel, spent the journey in a state of nervous excitement, preparing for every conceivable first contact scenario. After 3 weeks of FTL travel, the Stargazer dropped out of hyperspace near a massive space station orbiting a blue gas giant. The alien structure was a breathtaking sight, a sprawling metropolis of interconnected rings and spires that dwarfed anything humans had ever built. "My God," breathed Dr. Yuki Tanaka, the team's xenobiologist. "It's beautiful." A transmission crackled through the ship's speakers, a series of musical tones that their computer quickly translated into English. "Welcome, humans of Earth. You are cleared to dock at Bay 17. Prepare for atmospheric equalization." As the Stargazer glided into the docking bay, Amelia felt a sense of unreality wash over her. This was it, humanity's first step into a larger universe. The airlock hissed open, revealing a delegation of alien beings waiting to greet them. Amelia's scientific mind raced as she took in their appearance, bipedal, but with iridescent skin and large, multifaceted eyes. They wore flowing robes adorned with intricate patterns that seemed to shift and move. One of the aliens stepped forward, raising a 6-fingered hand in greeting. "I am Jorax, representative of the Galactic Consortium. We welcome Earth to the interstellar community." Captain Rivera, designated as humanity's primary spokesperson, stepped forward and bowed slightly. "On behalf of Earth, we thank you for your invitation and hospitality. We come in peace and with a desire to learn." What followed was a whirlwind of introductions, explanations, and revelations. The Galactic Consortium, they learned, was a coalition of over 30 spacefaring species dedicated to peaceful coexistence and the advancement of science. Earth had been monitored for centuries, with the signal sent only when humanity had reached a sufficient level of technological development. As the human delegation toured the space station, marveling at technologies beyond their wildest dreams, Amelia found herself drawn to the station's power core. The massive chamber hummed with energy, but something about it felt off. "Excuse me," she said, turning to their guide, a serpentine being named Silith. "What type of energy source are you using here?" Silith's facial tentacles rippled in what Amelia had learned was an expression of pride. "This is a standard antimatter reactor, capable of powering the entire station for decades." Amelia frowned, her mind racing. But the energy output, it doesn't match the theoretical models for antimatter reactions. The alien guide stared at her, clearly surprised. You can sense the energy fluctuations. Before Amelia could respond, alarms began blaring throughout the station. Red lights flashed, and alien crew members rushed past them in a panic. "What's happening?" Captain Rivera demanded. Salith's color changed to a pale blue. "The reactor, it's destabilizing." "But that's impossible. Our failsafes." Without thinking, Amelia pushed past the others and ran towards the reactor core. She could feel the energy pulsing, writhing like a living thing. As she reached the control panel, her hands moved of their own accord, manipulating holographic displays with an intuition she didn't understand. "Dr. Chen, what are you doing?" Yuki cried out behind her. I don't know," Amelia replied, her voice distant. "But I can feel it. The energy. It's singing to me." As the aliens watched in astonishment, Amelia's body began to glow with a soft, blue light. The reactor's chaotic energy patterns slowly stabilized, aligning with her movements until, finally, the alarms fell silent. Amelia stepped back, dazed and exhausted. The aliens stared at her with a mixture of awe and fear. Jorax approached slowly, his multifaceted eyes wide. "In all our years of space exploration, we have never encountered a species capable of manipulating energy fields directly. This is unprecedented." Captain Rivera helped steady Amelia, his face a mix of concern and amazement. "What does this mean?" he asked. The alien representative's skin shimmered with excitement. "It means, Captain, that humanity has far more to offer the galaxy than we ever imagined. You are not merely new members of our community. You are cosmic alchemists, shapers of the very fabric of the universe." As the implications of Jorax's words sank in, Amelia realized that their mission had changed dramatically. They had come seeking knowledge and friendship among the stars. Instead, they had discovered a power within themselves that would reshape the future of the entire galaxy. The cosmic age of humanity had begun. The energy revolution. 5 years after humanity's groundbreaking first contact, Earth had become a hub of interstellar activity. The revelation of human energy manipulation abilities, dubbed cosmic alchemy by the media, had catapulted Earth from a fledgling spacefaring civilization to a center of technological innovation almost overnight. Dr. Amelia Chen stood at the podium, addressing a diverse audience of humans and aliens at the newly established Galactic Science Academy in Geneva. Behind her, a holographic display showcased the schematics of Earth's latest breakthrough. "Ladies, gentlemen, and honored beings of all species," she began, her voice steady despite her nerves. "Today, I'm proud to present the culmination of 5 years of collaboration between Earth's scientists and our galactic neighbors, the first stable, large-scale fusion reactor." A murmur of excitement rippled through the crowd. Fusion power had long been the holy grail of energy production for many civilizations, but none had managed to make it viable on a commercial scale. By combining our unique energy manipulation abilities with the advanced materials science of the Zortaxian Empire and the plasma containment techniques of the Valerian Collective, we've achieved what was once thought impossible. Amelia continued. "This reactor can produce clean, nearly limitless energy with minimal waste. And the best part, we can teach other species how to operate it." As Amelia fielded questions from the audience, she couldn't help but marvel at how far humanity had come. The fusion reactor was just the latest in a series of advancements that had reshaped the galactic energy landscape. Human alchemists were in high demand across the cosmos, their ability to fine-tune energy fields making them invaluable in everything from starship engineering to terraforming projects. But not everyone was thrilled with humanity's meteoric rise. Later that evening, in a quiet corner of the Academy's reception hall, Amelia found herself in a heated discussion with Grixtor, a representative from the hegemony of Arcturus, one of the galaxy's oldest and most conservative civilizations. You must understand our concerns, Dr. Chen. Grixtor rumbled, his crystalline exoskeleton glinting under the soft lights. Your species has advanced too quickly. It upsets the balance of power that has maintained peace for millennia. Amelia sipped her champagne, choosing her words carefully. With all due respect, Ambassador, we're not interested in upsetting any balance. We're sharing our discoveries freely, for the benefit of all species. Grixtor's faceted eyes narrowed. And yet, it is Earth that controls the means of production. Your alchemists are the key to these new technologies. It gives you unprecedented influence. Before Amelia could respond, she felt a hand on her shoulder. She turned to see Captain, now Admiral, Marcus Rivera, his dress uniform adorned with the newly minted insignia of the Earth Defense Force. Is there a problem here? Marcus asked, his tone friendly but with an undercurrent of steel. Grixtor straightened, his crystalline plates clicking softly. Not at all, Admiral. I was just expressing some concerns to Dr. Chen. If you'll excuse me. With a curt nod, the Arcturian ambassador retreated into the crowd. Amelia let out a breath she hadn't realized she'd been holding. Thanks, Marcus. I think I needed the rescue. The Admiral's expression was grim. It's not just the Arcturians. We're hearing rumblings of discontent from several of the older empires. They're not comfortable with how quickly we've risen to prominence. But we're not a threat, Amelia protested. We're trying to help everyone. Marcus sighed. I know, but power shifts like this, they make people nervous. And nervous empires with large fleets are a dangerous combination. Their conversation was interrupted by an excited shout from across the room. Dr. Chen. Admiral Rivera. They turned to see Dr. Yuki Tanaka, now the head of Earth's Xenobiology Department, hurrying towards them with a young man in tow. I'm sorry to interrupt, Yuki said, slightly out of breath, but you need to meet Kai. Kai Patil. He's made an incredible discovery. The young man, barely out of his teens, Amelia guessed, looked both excited and terrified to be in their presence. It's an honor to meet you both, he stammered. I think I've found a way to enhance our energy manipulation abilities. Amelia and Marcus exchanged glances. Go on, Amelia encouraged. Kai took a deep breath. It's based on the principles of quantum entanglement. By creating a network of entangled particles, we can extend and amplify our natural abilities. Theoretically, it could allow us to manipulate energy on a massive scale, even across vast distances. The implications were staggering. Amelia's mind raced with the possibilities and the potential dangers. Kai, this is incredible, but we need to be very careful with how we proceed. Something like this could be seen as a weapon by some of our more paranoid neighbors. Marcus nodded in agreement. We'll need to keep this under wraps for now. Kai, I want you to put together a small team. Work on this in secret, but don't implement anything without clearing it with us first. As they discussed the details of Kay's project, Amelia couldn't shake a feeling of unease. Humanity's rise had been meteoric, but they were still newcomers on the galactic stage. They had allies, yes, but also a growing number of wary and potentially hostile civilizations watching their every move. The fusion reactor unveiling should have been a moment of unalloyed triumph, a step towards a brighter future for all species. Instead, Amelia found herself wondering if they were on the brink of a cosmic powder keg. As the evening wore on and delegates from 100 worlds mingled in the Grand Hall, Amelia caught sight of Grixtor engaged in intense conversation with representatives from several other elder races. Their body language spoke volumes. This was no casual diplomatic chat. Marcus, she murmured, nodding towards the group. I think we might have a problem. The Admiral's eyes narrowed as he assessed the scene. I think you're right. We need to be prepared for anything. As if on cue, Amelia's communicator buzzed with an urgent message from Earth's Defense Command. She read it quickly, her face paling. What is it? Marcus asked, tension evident in his voice. Amelia looked up, her eyes wide with concern. Long-range sensors have detected a massive fleet gathering at the edge of Arcturian space. They're not responding to hails. The energy revolution had brought humanity to the stars. Now, it seemed, it might bring them their first interstellar war. The threat emerges. The mood in the United Earth Defense Council chamber was tense. Holographic displays showed the movement of the Arcturian fleet, a massive armada of warships that had appeared at the edge of human-controlled space seemingly overnight. Admiral Marcus Rivera stood at the center of the room, addressing the assembled leaders of Earth and its closest alien allies. "We've attempted communication on all known frequencies," Marcus reported, his voice grim. "The Arcturians are maintaining radio silence. Their intentions are clear. This is a show of force." President Lydia Okonkwo, the recently elected leader of the United Earth government, leaned forward in her chair. "What are our options, Admiral?" Before Marcus could respond, a chime sounded, and a new hologram flickered to life. It was Jorax, the alien representative who had first welcomed humanity to the galactic community 5 years ago. "My friends," Jorax began, his multifaceted eyes reflecting concern, "I bring grave news. The Galactic Consortium is in turmoil. Several elder races, led by the Arcturian hegemony, are calling for immediate action against Earth." A murmur of alarm rippled through the chamber. President Okonkwo's voice cut through the noise. "On what grounds?" Jorax's skin rippled with what humans had learned was an expression of deep worry. "They claim that humanity's rapid advancements and unique abilities pose an existential threat to galactic stability. They're demanding that Earth surrender all of its advanced technology and submit to oversight from a council of elder races. That's absurd," Dr. Amelia Chen exclaimed, rising from her seat. "We've shared our discoveries freely. We've helped countless worlds." Jorax nodded sadly. "Many in the consortium agree with you, Dr. Chen. But the elder races are powerful, and fear is a potent motivator. They've convinced many that humans are too dangerous to be left unchecked." President Okonkwo's expression hardened. "And if we refuse their demands?" "Then," Jorax said quietly, "I fear war is inevitable." As the council erupted into heated debate, Amelia slipped out of the chamber. She made her way to a secure laboratory deep beneath Geneva, where Kai Patel and his team had been working tirelessly on their secret project. The young scientist looked up as Amelia entered, his eyes bleary from lack of sleep. "Dr. Chen, we've made a breakthrough. The quantum entanglement network, it works." Amelia managed a tight smile. "Show me." Kai led her to a complex array of equipment. At its center was a glowing sphere of pure energy, suspended in midair. "This is just a small-scale demonstration," Kai explained. "But with this network, we can amplify and extend our energy manipulation abilities exponentially. Theoretically, we could affect energy fields across entire star systems." Amelia stared at the pulsing sphere, her mind racing. "Kai, how quickly can we scale this up?" The young scientist blinked in surprise. "Well, with proper resources, maybe a few months. But we haven't even begun to explore all the implications." "We don't have months," Amelia cut him off. "We might not even have weeks. I need you to assemble a team of our best alchemists. We need to implement this on a global scale as soon as possible." Kai's eyes widened as he grasped the gravity of the situation. "Dr. Chen, are we at war?" Amelia's expression was grim. "Not yet, but we need to be prepared for anything." As Amelia left the lab, her communicator buzzed. It was a message from an unexpected source. Grixtor, the Arcturian ambassador. He was requesting a clandestine meeting. Hours later, in a nondescript cafe in the old part of Geneva, Amelia sat across from the crystalline alien. The usual bustling atmosphere of the cafe was subdued, the other patrons giving their table a wide berth. "I apologize for the secrecy," Grixtor began, his voice low. "But what I'm about to tell you could shatter the hegemony if it became known." Amelia leaned forward, intrigued despite her wariness. I'm listening. The Arcturian fleet, it's not acting on orders from our government. It's a rogue faction, led by military hardliners who see humanity as a threat to their power. Why are you telling me this? Amelia asked, her eyes narrowing. Grixtor's crystalline structure shimmered with what Amelia had learned was an expression of deep shame. Because I was wrong about your people, Dr. Chen. I let my fear cloud my judgment. But this madness, it could plunge the entire galaxy into chaos. As Grixtor shared more details about the conspiracy within the Arcturian hegemony, Amelia's mind raced. This information could change everything, but only if they could prove it to the rest of the Galactic Consortium. Back at the Defense Council, Amelia's report was met with a mix of hope and skepticism. Even if this is true, Admiral Rivera argued, the rogue fleet is still a very real threat. We need a plan to defend Earth and our allies. President Okonkwo nodded. Agreed. Dr. Chen, what's the status of our special projects? Amelia took a deep breath. The quantum entanglement network is ready for large-scale implementation. With it, we could create a defensive grid unlike anything the galaxy has ever seen. But what? The president pressed. But it could also be seen as the ultimate weapon. Amelia finished. If we deploy this technology, even in self-defense, it might confirm the worst fears of those who see us as a threat. The room fell silent as the implications sank in. They were standing at a crossroads, and their next move would shape the future of humanity's place in the galaxy. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the complex. Admiral Rivera's face paled as he read the incoming report. The Arcturian fleet has entered the solar system. They're heading straight for Earth. President Okonkwo stood, her voice ringing with authority. We're out of time. Dr. Chen, deploy the quantum network. Admiral Rivera, ready our defenses. And someone get me a direct line to the Galactic Consortium. It's time to show the galaxy who we really are. As the room erupted into action, Amelia caught Kai's eye across the chamber. The young scientist nodded, understanding the unspoken message. They had worked in secret to create a tool that could save humanity, or doom it. The next few hours would determine not just the fate of Earth, but the future of the entire galaxy. And at the center of it all were the cosmic alchemists, the humans who had reshaped the very fabric of the universe. The storm was upon them. It was time to see if humanity's light would shine through the darkness, or be extinguished in the vacuum of space. The cosmic battle. The void of space erupted into a dazzling display of light and energy as the Arcturian fleet dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of the solar system. Thousands of crystalline ships, their hulls gleaming like cut diamonds, moved in perfect formation towards Earth. Aboard the UES Defiant, the flagship of Earth's hastily assembled defense fleet, Admiral Marcus Rivera watched the enemy approach with a mixture of awe and dread. They outnumber us 5-1, his tactical officer reported, her voice tight with tension. Marcus nodded grimly. But we have a few tricks up our sleeves. Status of the quantum network. On the other side of the bridge, Dr. Amelia Chen was bent over a console, her fingers dancing across holographic controls. Online and operational. Admiral, all human alchemists are linked and ready. Good, Marcus said, because we're going to need every advantage we can get. As the Arcturian fleet entered weapons range, a message crackled through the comms. The face that appeared on the view screen was familiar. Grixtor, the Arcturian ambassador. This is General Zixbol of the Arcturian Purification Fleet, the crystalline being announced, its faceted eyes gleaming with fanatical zeal. Surrender your world and submit to our authority, or be obliterated. President Okonkwo, patched in from the secure bunker on Earth, stepped into view. This is President Lydia Okonkwo of the United Earth Government. We have evidence that you are acting without the authority of your own government. Stand down, and we can resolve this peacefully. The being wearing Grixtor's face sneered. Lies and deception. You have corrupted even our own kind. There will be no peace until the human threat is eliminated. As the transmission cut off, Marcus turned to Amelia. I guess negotiations are over. Doctor, it's time to show them what humanity can really do. Amelia nodded, her expression determined. She closed her eyes, reaching out through the quantum network to thousands of human alchemists scattered across the solar system. As one, they began to manipulate the very fabric of space-time. The effect was immediate and awe-inspiring. A shimmering barrier of pure energy began to form around the Earth and its allied ships, fed by the combined power of humanity's unique abilities amplified through the quantum network. The Arcturian fleet opened fire, their energy weapons lancing out across space. But as they struck the barrier, something unprecedented happened. Instead of dissipating or being absorbed, the energy was redirected, swirling and coalescing into intricate patterns. My God, Marcus breathed. They're weaving the energy into new forms. Amelia opened her eyes, a faint glow emanating from them. We're not just defending, she said, her voice resonating with otherworldly power. We're creating. All across the solar system, the redirected energy began to take shape. Swarms of small, agile craft materialized out of the ether. Massive energy constructs, resembling ancient sea creatures or mythical beasts, swam through the void. Earth's fleet was suddenly bolstered by an armada born of pure energy and human will. The Arcturian forces faltered, clearly unprepared for this display of power. But their hesitation was brief. With a coordination that spoke of years of military discipline, they regrouped and pressed their attack. What followed was a battle unlike any the galaxy had ever seen. Traditional weapons and tactics clashed with the reality-warping abilities of the human alchemists. Stars seemed to flicker and dance as the fabric of space itself became a battleground. Aboard the Defiant, Marcus coordinated the defense with a mixture of traditional strategy and improvisation. Quantum Squad Alpha reinforced the Jupiter perimeter. Beta Team, I need those energy leviathans protecting our flanks. But despite humanity's incredible display of power, the Arcturian fleet's numbers and advanced technology were taking their toll. Ships on both sides erupted into blossoming explosions, silent in the vacuum of space. We can't keep this up forever, Amelia warned, sweat beading on her brow from the strain of maintaining the quantum network. The alchemists are reaching their limits. Marcus gritted his teeth. We just need to hold out a little longer. Our message to the Galactic Consortium. He was cut off as a massive explosion rocked the Defiant. Sparks flew from consoles, and warning klaxons blared. Direct hit to our port side. The tactical officer shouted. Shields are failing. As Marcus barked orders to reroute power and seal off damaged sections, a new alert sounded. Multiple FTL signatures detected. The sensor officer called out. It's the Consortium fleet. They're here. A wave of relief washed over the bridge as the reinforcements arrived. Ships from a dozen different species dropped out of FTL, their weapons already charging. The voice of Jorax, the alien who had first welcomed humanity to the galactic community, echoed through the comms. People of Earth, we stand with you. The Consortium has seen the truth of your actions and the deception of the Arcturian renegades. We fight together. With the arrival of the Consortium fleet, the tide of battle quickly turned. Caught between the reality-warping powers of the human alchemists and the advanced weaponry of the Galactic Alliance, the Arcturian forces began to falter. In a desperate gambit, the crystalline flagship of General Zixbol broke from formation, charging directly at Earth with weapons blazing. They're making a run for the planet, Marcus shouted. All ships, intercept. But the Arcturian vessel was too fast, too well armored. It slipped past the defensive line, plunging towards the blue-green world below. Amelia's eyes snapped open, glowing with an inner fire. No, she said, her voice echoing with the combined will of thousands of human alchemists. You will not harm our home. With a gesture that seemed to bend reality itself, Amelia reached out through the quantum network. the energy barrier around Earth coalesced, forming into a massive hand that plucked the Arcturian flagship from the sky, as if it were a toy. General Zixvol's face appeared on the viewscreen once more, his crystalline features contorted with a mixture of rage and fear. What? What are you? Amelia stood, her form seeming to shimmer with barely contained power. We are humanity. We are the cosmic alchemists, and we choose peace. With those words, the energy construct gently engulfed the Arcturian ship, neutralizing its weapons and drive systems. Across the battlefield, the remaining renegade forces, seeing their leader captured and their allies defeated, began to power down their weapons. As the chaos of battle faded, replaced by the tense silence of an uncertain ceasefire, Marcus turned to Amelia. "It's over," he said quietly. "We've won." Amelia nodded, the glow fading from her eyes as she released her hold on the quantum network. "No, Marcus," she replied, a tired but hopeful smile on her face. "This isn't an ending. It's a beginning." As Earth's defenders and their new allies began the process of securing the battlefield and tending to the wounded, a new chapter in galactic history was already being written. Humanity had faced its greatest test and emerged not just victorious, but transformed. The cosmic alchemists had reshaped the very nature of warfare and power in the universe. Now came the even greater challenge, forging a lasting peace in a galaxy forever changed by their emergence. A new galactic order. The Grand Assembly Hall of the Galactic Consortium buzzed with an energy unlike anything seen in its millennia-long history. Representatives from hundreds of species filled the vast chamber, their attention focused on the central podium where Earth's delegation stood. President Lydia Okonkwo stepped forward, her presence commanding respect from even the eldest races. Honored members of the consortium, she began, her voice carrying clearly through the hall. We stand at a crossroads. The recent conflict has shown us both the dangers of fear and mistrust, and the incredible potential for growth when we work together. As she spoke, holographic displays flickered to life around the chamber, showing scenes from the battle that had nearly torn the galaxy apart. The awesome power of the human alchemists was on full display, but so too were images of cooperation and heroism from a dozen different species. Humanity did not ask for these abilities, Lydia continued. We did not seek to upset the balance of power in our galaxy, but now that we have this gift, we must decide how to use it responsibly. Dr. Amelia Chen stepped up beside the president, her eyes scanning the assembled aliens. She could sense the mixture of awe, fear, and curiosity emanating from the crowd. Our quantum entanglement network has given us the ability to reshape reality itself, Amelia explained. But it has also shown us the interconnectedness of all things. We propose to use this technology not for dominance, but for harmony. A murmur rippled through the audience. Jorax, now the lead representative of the consortium, leaned forward. Please, elaborate, Dr. Chen. How do you envision this harmony? Amelia nodded to Kai Patel, who activated a new holographic display. A complex web of energy lines appeared, connecting stars and planets across the galaxy. We call it the cosmic web, Kai said, his youthful enthusiasm shining through. By extending our quantum network across the galaxy, we can create a new form of faster-than-light communication and energy transfer. Imagine being able to share resources instantly across vast distances, to collaborate on a truly cosmic scale. The hall erupted in a mixture of excited chatter and concerned murmurs. Admiral Marcus Rivera stepped forward, his military bearing a reassuring presence. We understand your concerns, he said, addressing the unspoken fears in the room. This technology could be used as a weapon. But we propose complete transparency and shared control. The cosmic web would belong to all species, governed by the consortium as a whole. As the implications sank in, questions flew from all corners of the hall. How would this affect existing power structures? What about species without energy manipulation abilities? Could this technology be misused? For hours, the Earth delegation fielded inquiries, offering proposals and accepting suggestions. It was a marathon of diplomacy, unlike anything in human history. As the session neared its end, an unexpected voice cut through the din. General Zixful, the leader of the defeated Arcturian renegades, was brought forward under guard. "You speak of harmony and cooperation," the crystalline being said, his voice tinged with bitterness. "But how can we trust a species with such power? How do we know you won't simply remake the galaxy in your image?" A hush fell over the assembly. All eyes turned to the Earth delegation. Amelia stepped forward, her gaze meeting Zixful's faceted eyes. "Because we've seen the alternative," she said softly. "We've seen what fear and mistrust can do. We've felt the temptation of power, and we choose a different path." She turned, addressing the entire assembly. "We don't want to remake the galaxy in our image. We want to learn from each of you, to grow together. Our abilities don't make us superior. They give us a responsibility to serve." As her words sank in, a new energy filled the chamber. It wasn't the frenetic excitement of before, but a deeper, more profound sense of possibility. Over the next several days, agreements were hammered out, protocols established, and a new framework for galactic cooperation was born. The cosmic web would be implemented gradually, with oversight from a diverse council. Earth would share its knowledge of energy manipulation, while other species would contribute their own unique sciences and philosophies. As the final accords were signed, President Okonkwo turned to her team. "Well done, all of you. But this is just the beginning." Amelia nodded, a mix of exhaustion and exhilaration on her face. "There's so much work ahead. Training new alchemists, integrating our technologies, building trust, and exploring." Kai chimed in, his eyes bright with enthusiasm. "The cosmic web will let us reach further into the universe than ever before. Imagine what we'll discover." Marcus chuckled, shaking his head. "Always looking to the next horizon, aren't you?" But he's right. We've opened up a whole new era of exploration and discovery. As the Earth delegation prepared to return home, they were approached by Jorax and several other consortium leaders. "We owe you a debt we can never fully repay," Jorax said, his multifaceted eyes shimmering with emotion. "You've shown us a vision of the future we never dared to imagine." Lydia smiled warmly. "We're all in this together now. The real work is just beginning." As their ship departed from the consortium headquarters, Amelia stood at the viewport, watching the stars streaking by. She thought about the long journey that had brought humanity to this point, from their first tentative steps into space to becoming key players in a galactic civilization. "Penny, for your thoughts," Marcus asked, joining her at the window. Amelia smiled. "I was just thinking about that first contact, 5 years ago. How overwhelmed we all felt. And now look at us, reshaping the very fabric of the galaxy." Marcus nodded. "It's been one hell of a ride. But you know, I have a feeling the real adventures are just beginning." As if in response to his words, a notification chimed on their consoles. It was a message from one of the first cosmic web nodes, already in operation at the edge of known space. Kai's excited voice came over the comm system. "You've got to see this. The web just picked up signals from, well, we're not sure what they are, but they're like nothing we've ever encountered before, and they're coming from outside the galaxy." Amelia and Marcus exchanged a look, equal parts excitement and trepidation reflected in their eyes. The cosmos, it seemed, still had plenty of surprises in store for the alchemists of Earth. As their ship turned, setting a course for this new discovery, Amelia felt a sense of profound gratitude and purpose. Humanity had been gifted with incredible power, and they had chosen to use it not for domination, but for connection. They had become not conquerors, but explorers, peacekeepers, and bridge builders. The cosmic alchemists had reshaped the galaxy. Now it was time to see what other wonders the universe held, and to face whatever challenges lay ahead, together.